What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Starfighter podcast with your two co-hosts, Dom and Jake. We're here ready to talk about Ahsoka episode 6. Um, and yeah, what a night for podcasts here on the channel. Jake and I
Whew.
just got done doing our One Piece review, the Netflix series One Piece. We just did a review with my nephew Landon and my brother Adrian, and that was a blast, guys. If you haven't seen the show, you need to because it will go down as the best show of 2023.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen our review yet, go check that out. Um, so much fun talking with those guys, and always fun talking with you. Great podcast that we just had. Now we're gonna have
Yeah.
another
It
good
was...
one. No matter what, we'll have a good one. Maybe
yeah.
maybe more mixed feelings this time with this show, but excited for our guests. Also, it's a great night for guests on the channel too.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of amazing guests so far tonight. One's joining us back up here. And I had a great time with them last time. I loved that last review. You guys definitely go check it out and definitely check out the show. It's worth watching. Even if you I don't like anime. This is an anime. You'll love it. You'll love
Yeah.
it. But we're getting into this show, and Dom's super excited about it. And
Dude,
so we're gonna
I'm
dive in.
pumped, man. I'm pumped.
We'll
And
see
yeah,
where it
just
goes. We'll see where it goes.
my favorite people, some of my favorite people we're having back for this review. So
Most definitely.
before we bring our guests on, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Check us out on the podcast feed, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave us some good reviews. But more than anything, we want to hear your guys' thoughts. So whether it's here live, fire them in the comments. We'll play them on the screen. Or if you're watching on the replay, leave a comment. Let us know how you're enjoying the Ahsoka series, how you enjoyed this episode. And I really enjoy hearing your guys' crazy theories for the show and the movies going forward. So let us know about it. All right, let's bring on our guests. We've got returning to the show Landon, my nephew, and Anthony. Both of these guys are the best in the business at Star Wars trivia. I'm sure other
Real
forms of trivia
professionals.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the best that I know of, and hopefully we'll get them back for more trivia episodes soon. We need to get on that, Jake. It's been too long. But how are you guys doing? It's good to have you back.
Yep, doing good.
Pretty good. I'm excited to be back on the show.
It's
been a while.
Yeah.
Been a while.
I just
Yeah.
got back from the Grand Line.
Oh, he already went there and back.
Hopped on a Purgle and hyper
Yeah.
hyper went into hyperspace.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Good to have you both back to talk about Ahsoka. Why don't we get started here? To start out, I want to hear, Landon, we'll start with you. How have you been enjoying the Ahsoka series so far?
I'm gonna be honest. They were losing me there for a bit. So, I mean, obviously, I say it as a joke, but there's a lot of points, where I'd be watching this show and I'd be like, "This show's okay, but I could be watching One Piece right now."
Rewatching One Piece.
Oh yeah, it's worth it, folks.
Which is man, it's so hard because obviously I feel like the main enjoyment I'm getting from watching a lot of these Star Wars shows at this point is that it's adding, with the exception of Andor, is that it's kind of just adding on to the universe that I love so much and want to keep track of. It's just the bit of a drop in quality is
Did you not like Andor?
I loved Andor actually.
Oh, okay, me too.
That's the exception to the rule, is that I wanted to watch Andor just because I really, really enjoyed the show. Just in general as a show, but yeah. Ahsoka was losing me there for a second, but I remember when I was sitting down watching this episode, I told myself they need to show Thrawn or Ezra this episode, or else I'm probably out.
Yeah.
And they did, and I have opinions on how they did it, but yeah, I'll pass it
I think you said you're feeling a little bit better about the series.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, it's definitely not without its flaws. But yeah, how are you feeling about it, Anthony?
The entire show, I like it. Like Ahsoka is my favorite Star Wars character. So
That's
when I
cool.
first heard that she was getting a show, I was super excited. I've the just with all the episodes, I've enjoyed all the episodes. Some I've liked more than others. This one's kind of could have had some better moments. It could have done stuff a little bit better. I feel like to make it a better episode, but it was still good. And yeah, I'm hoping it comes to a good end.
Real quick, well, I love that Ahsoka is your favorite character.
Yeah.
And then also, did you guys love last week's episode? Because I loved it.
I think that is my favorite episode.
I when I like really, I'm kind of weird, but like when I really like something, even though I want to watch it again right away, I'll like try and push it off. But like I had to rewatch it again this weekend. Just love last week's episode. But yeah, all right. Why don't we get into episode 6 here? And we start out with Hu Yang and Ahsoka on the ship for our intro. I enjoyed the conversation that the two of them had. I think Hu Yang is one of the best parts about this show. They don't overuse him either, so I think that they're doing pretty good. I could actually stand to see him a little bit more, but like everything he says and like the humor that comes with him too, like last week when Jason asked him like for training and he said no, and he asked him for a lightsaber and he said no. I just loved all that stuff. But yeah, I like that he's also very knowledgeable, and he has a background with the Jedi Order. And so like him kind of giving Ahsoka a little bit of wisdom, I thought was cool in this intro scene. I'll throw it over to Landon. How do you like this intro?
This intro really I think did a lot for me, especially like the episode being called Far Far Away, and like we started talking about the history like in a galaxy far far away. I definitely like that because I feel like Star Wars would be I would like Star Wars a little bit more if they went in a bit more of a weirder direction with a lot of stuff, which they did in this episode, in this series as a general, which made me a lot more optimistic.
Yeah, Anthony, any thoughts here in the beginning?
Yeah, I really liked the opening. It kind of threw me back to Clone Wars, thinking of when Ahsoka was with Hu Yang and the other younglings, and they were doing all that. It kind of threw me back to that. So I thought that was a nice little callback, and I thought it was a good way to open the episode too.
So do we see him in the Clone Wars show?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I've got to go back.
Yeah,
So
it's
I didn't
on.
remember him.
Yeah, it's in the arc. I believe it's in the arc with Ahsoka.
Don't we see him a few times?
Yeah, with Ahsoka and the younglings when they start to build their lightsabers.
Okay.
We see him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see him there, and I think he's in 2 episodes there.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's like a
going-
2-parter. Yeah.
Right now, I'm going back to rewatch some of the episodes. So, like last week, I rewatched the Mortis. Like I started rewatching the Mortis arc, and then also the Ryloth stuff too, because that's where they ended up in like part of the training with Anakin. But yeah, Jake, any thoughts right off the bat in the beginning?
Do you want to know my thoughts about the beginning?
We want to know, Jake, of course.
I happy they semi-addressed the fact that like Ahsoka was like, yeah, I didn't tell them that like she gave it over to them willingly. They tried to explain that off, and then like she really just pushed, like they both kind of pushed it off. Like she's like, I didn't train her, and then she's like, well, I guess it's just fate. And I hate that they say that and like, oh, she didn't have a choice. I'm like, it's like, come on, like she had a choice. Like she could have done something. Like, like be a hero or something, Sabine. But regardless, I always like seeing Hu Yang and Ahsoka, and I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get to hear what story he told her.
Yeah.
You know, I was literally like, "Oh, come on, give me something! Like, give me just a little tidbit." And they didn't, which is a bummer. But I understand. You know, they can't upstage their own show with great stories from the past. I understand. So
I like that point that you made. I took it a little bit different because I don't think that it was fate. Um, but I did like how Hu Yang said for Sabine, it might have been her only option. And I think it was just like a mental and emotional thing, like because of her connection and relationship with Ezra. Like she felt like that was like her only option. Like she didn't really know what else to do, even though
yeah,
even though it may not have been the right choice.
just kill billions of people. It's not an issue. It's okay, Sabine.
Speaking of Sabine, we could talk a little bit about her imprisonment. And we see the frustration, how she was thinking. Also, I don't know how strongly she really believed Balin, but yeah, a couple times she mentions like you're not really holding up your end of the deal to Balin. But is there anything you guys want to touch on when it comes to that? Maybe like their dynamics here, and we can just talk about basically the main plot kind of kicks off here with where they're headed to. Oh, and I'm forgetting the name. I bet one of you guys knows it too. Starts with a P, I think.
Meridia?
No, no, it's Pathmere or something. It's weird.
No, I thought it was Peridia.
It is Peridia.
Oh,
yeah.
was it Peridia?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah.
something completely different. Yeah, Peridia.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so Sabine's imprisoned. They're headed to Peridia. They're making their way there. Landon, you want to share some thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely I don't know if we're like just kind of talking about like first couple parts where they show Thrawn.
Yeah,
Or
we
just
can
in
we can get into it.
Yeah, I was definitely really excited. I was excited but kind of disappointed. Maybe just that was just my fault. Because I was excited that they were in like a new galaxy. Like it would be cool to like to show like there's just a whole other like culture or whatever going on in this other galaxy. But I kind of just like land on this planet, and like it's like mostly empty. But
Yeah.
if we're talking about Thrawn's like when he's finally revealed, and also the Night Sisters, I thought the Night Sisters were pretty cool, but I'm a bit of a history mythology kind of nerd. So like when they're talking about these three Night Sisters, talking about like fate, like the threads of fate, and they have these like those like balls they're like weaving or whatever. Like that's just direct, just some Greek mythology ripping off.
I was
Which
gonna
was,
say
like,
kind of
is a
the
little on the
Hercules movie.
nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it, but yeah.
Oh, dude, gotta go watch the animated Hercules movie. All right, another time.
But
It's not the first time Jake has talked about the animated Hercules movie on this show.
oh wait, no, I
Dude,
have seen that. Never
Air
mind.
Air Hercs, come on now, give me some Air Hercs, baby.
Yeah, but
Wait, so can you guys explain a little bit of what you're talking about with the mythology thing?
so a couple like a little bit on the nose things are I forget his name every time. The two Jedi with orange lightsabers.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Balin and Shin.
Balin
Yeah,
and Shin.
I have heard some stuff with that and mythology.
Yeah, they're based upon the two wolves that ended the world in Norse mythology, which it kind of makes sense because they're like ending the cycle of the Sith and Jedi, or that's what they appear to be like planning to do. And then with the three Night Sisters, they seem to be pretty much like straight like based on the fates in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Which are just three old ladies that like decide who lives and dies, and they like spin the like a thread of time basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what I picked up on, at least.
I'm interested. Can Landon or any of you confirm that like the mother is the same one from Clone Wars, like, and she's lived on this entire time? Is
No,
no
Yeah, I
it's
don't
three
think so.
different, completely different
Yeah.
people.
completely
Yeah.
different? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't quite
She's
sure.
like the mother from that, like Maul's mom was
Mhm.
basically sent to our galaxy, and then they took over that planet, and like she stayed there, and then they had like the original witches still like back in their own like home world, basically.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. The Dathomirians
there
were
you go. Yeah.
from Peridia. They were just like their own colony, basically. Is kind of what they were.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was interesting, but like slightly confusing too, because like
Yeah.
so they're from Peridia, but like at some point they just make a new homeworld called Dathomir, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they like
Yeah.
kind of infiltrated the galaxy and they wanted to take over it, which is what they're doing now. Which we'll get into whatever's in the crates, but it's more than likely a lot of different witches, and they're gonna resurrect all these different people back in the other galaxy to like retake
bro, it's
Dathomir.
Snoke. It's Snoke, bro. I told you.
Yeah, they have like 20 different Snoke bodies. They're just wheeling on there. But yeah, so that's basically how they originated on
Tell me,
Dathomir.
bro, it's Jar
And then-
Jar.
Dude, if they brought like a dark Jar Jar back, dude, I would lose it. I
So,
want it.
Anthony, how'd you enjoy like seeing Thrawn live action and his return?
I really liked seeing Thrawn like in a live action thing. I feel like they did kind of good with him. He looked really well. He looked kind of similar as Clone Wars. He had like the right like facial expression of a man that's gonna try and destroy the galaxy
Mm-hmm.
and all that. And I like how it's the same person that was the voice actor in Clone Wars,
Lars
in
Lars
Rebels.
Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does great.
Yeah, and I thought his entrance was like it was kind of perfect for him to show up in the Star Destroyer with all of his stormtroopers in their new decked out outfits and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought
I
it was
was
pretty
loving
cool.
those stormtroopers. They look real cool.
Yeah, Enoch. The way
Oh, they're
Enoch
all-
looked. Yeah, with the gold face.
Dude, they're all definitely dead though, for sure. Like I feel like all those guys are zombified from the sisters. Like I don't think that those guys are like living
Yeah.
anymore. They're like a Marok situation.
That's what
I
I
didn't-
was kind of thinking because I'm like,
They're
there's
beat
no
up,
way.
right?
Yeah, there's no way that
That does sound
They had
likely,
a-
but
It's it's from old. I believe that's from old canon or legends. There's like zombie troopers.
yeah. I was gonna say that Jake, that does sound likely, but I do remember Thrawn talking about how his numbers were dwindling a whole lot, which maybe
Mhm.
they could explain like that they could only resurrect a certain amount, but it's like
Mhm.
I think if they were resurrecting them, they just resurrect all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I love those stormtroopers, and I loved how all the cracks in their helmets were filled in with gold, because that's like a real practice that they do in real life, where if they have statues or porcelain or whatever that's starting to crack, they can reinforce it while adorning it, because Thrawn's extra fancy by filling in all the cracks with gold. And
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I'll just go. I was pretty disappointed. I'll just say it straight up. I didn't find Thrawn intimidating at all. If you've never seen anything else and this is what you get for Thrawn, you're like, okay, like how is this guy a big deal kind of situation. So I was kind of disappointed. What he was doing throughout the episode 2, which I guess I don't know if you want to get into, just didn't seem it didn't seem smart. Like, kill Sabine. You don't even need her. I don't understand why you need her. Like, who cares about Ezra and Sabine if you're gonna leave? Like, they're gonna be stuck there. Like, who gives a rat's? I don't understand why he sent the other 2 Jedi after them unless he really just doesn't like Balin from back in the day and is like, yeah, like we'll leave him. Like, I don't really care for him. And maybe he sensed something it kind of seemed like when he was like, oh yeah, General like Balin, like you were a Jedi like knight or whatever, and he kind of looked at him like, I don't trust you at all. That's like what I got from it. But yeah, I just like his process of this episode and like what he was doing was pointless, and I just don't understand the writing sometimes with this series. Like I feel like they do things, it feels super forced to me. Like they do things to force a situation, like this has to happen so this could happen. And so like that's been my biggest gripe with this whole series, is like it doesn't seem organic at all. So it was kind of frustrating. But you know, besides that, I just really didn't find him intimidating. And that's what I mean, like if we could have had like a flashback or something of like stuff he did, instead of just being like, oh, Thrawn, he's a big guy, bad guy, watch out, and then he just shows up and he's like, yeah, like, hey, how you doing? Like, okay, okay. So like I wish the show was more inclusive of people that haven't seen all the other Star Wars stuff. And like that kind of irked me a little bit. But besides that, I mean, I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm curious to see like his overall plan, his relationship with the Night Sisters, why that's such a like a palpable thing for him, like why it's so important. But yeah, I just was like kind of thrown off a little bit. And then, I mean, we'll get into it later, but the whole Ezra and Sabine reuniting thing we kind of talked about before we jumped on was a little lackluster as well.
Yeah.
But so I just found this episode to be kind of a letdown in a lot of ways, just because maybe I'm just expecting more because I've seen things in the past and like I'm want to see more of that, and it's just kind of, it's petering along, and it kind of shows because Filoni's trying to make this movie and all this stuff, and so he can't push things too far right now. And on the same note that Landon had when they first show up to this new planet, it's like desolate, like we don't get to see this galaxy at all, like there's nothing, like it just was bland to me, and I was just like, this is like what we've been waiting for to see, is like a planet, like, and maybe they get stuck there and maybe like we're gonna explore this new galaxy a lot more, but like we didn't get like really too many new character, like new things, or like it was just kind of there.
Yeah,
So,
it was like,
Yeah.
it's like another planet they explored in the original galaxy, kind of what it feels like.
like I was expecting something crazy to be happening, like, and we'll get into, I guess, what Balin's looking for right now might be the guy that we've seen in Clone Wars. I forget his name. Like the neutral big
Oh,
the
Jedi guy?
Bendu. The Bendu.
Yeah,
Bendu.
Oh,
I
the
think it's like,
I thought of that too.
yeah.
That's a great
So,
episode.
like,
That's a great
I
arc.
think, yeah, kind
Yeah.
of adding what Jake's saying is like the planet, it might as well have just been in like the same galaxy.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
even like the scavengers.
I like the
it,
look of
like,
it, but it
I know the
Yeah,
scavengers.
everything looked really
It
cool, and like all the
wasn't
animals, and
really
like I like the
special.
hermit crab guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like even just the scavengers, they're just almost directly just Tusken Raiders with like red
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like there's so much stuff they could do. Like I feel like this show and all the ideas they're presenting just has so much potential,
Mhm.
but it's just like Jake was saying, it doesn't feel like it was naturally, like any of like the ideas are able to like breathe, because none of it seems to be like written with a lot of purpose other than the story needs to happen. Even something like Sabine like kills those scavengers and is like finds all of this like technology that she's just can't even comprehend, like doesn't even understand how it works.
Something.
Like any
yeah.
even like a tiny thing like that, like but there's really nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat in between, like, with my mindset, because like Anthony, I felt like Thrawn seemed pretty similar to, you know, the portrayal in Rebels, and I enjoyed his character in Rebels. I enjoyed it here, but I do agree with what Jake was saying, like with kind of like the plan, and yeah, some things do feel a little wonky, because like you mentioned, like, you know, why is he keeping Sabine around? Also, like, it comes across like he's using her to get to Ezra, but it's like, can't he also just find Ezra himself if he really wanted to?
That's dude. I
she
was so confused.
because she found him really easy.
Really quick, dude.
Yeah.
She just
Dog-
stumbled on she stumbled on a
dog let her
rock,
go.
and then like the first
So-
creature she found on this planet was like, "Oh, I know that guy. Yeah, come with me. Sure."
So,
Like,
yeah,
what is going on?
if it really has to be like that, they definitely needed to explain a little bit more of his mindset and what his plan is. But yeah, I do want to get into Balin and Shin because
Can I cut you off before you jump into that?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was thinking that whole time what you said, like, okay, it seemed like he cared about Ezra, maybe like he was going to use Sabine to be like, I have your friend here as a prisoner, like, come meet me at this place. Like, that's what I thought he was going to do to like draw Ezra out. And he like didn't do that at all. And it was just like, yeah, go for it. And I was like, do you care about it, like Ezra or like anybody? Like, what's your shtick here, man? So like, I just thought it was going to go a different direction. It didn't. And then like, it just seemed pointless. And I was like, okay.
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, Balin, Shin.
Yeah, so the two of them have become like two of my favorite characters, two new favorite characters. And we say it every episode, but shout out to Ray Stevenson because I just think he's so great in the show. He's one of the big takeaways. But yeah, so I really liked that was my favorite part, just like their conversation, because I love like when we get references to Order 66 and seeing everyone's like different perspective. I think that's what's kind of cool about like Jedi Fallen Order. We get to see someone like a new character's perspective on it, and so we're seeing that with Balin. But like, you know, we get to get inside his head a little bit more and understand him a little bit better, and I think we see like the bitterness that he has. I heard this theory that he wants to find the world between worlds so that he can stop Order 66, which I was telling Jake I think would be really cool. I don't think that he would actually get that far, but I would like to see that be his plan. And yeah, I just find like his character really interesting, and yeah, that it wasn't like super action packed, but that was my favorite part of the episode is their conversation referencing the Order and how she actually my favorite part within the conversation is when Shin asks him if he misses the Order, and he says, I miss the idea of it. I just felt like that spoke volumes to his character as well. And like, again, like he's not super evil, but he's not really good. Yeah, I think he's super cool. Either of you want to talk a little bit about that?
You go ahead, Anthony.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I really like Balin and Shin. I like how he said he liked the idea of the Order. We can kind of see that implemented in Shin because she has the Padawan braid. So if he had taken her on and didn't really like the Order, would it make sense for her to have that? But since he still kind of liked the Order and like somewhat of it, I think it was just a nice detail to add in between them.
Yeah, and when he talks about Ezra for a minute and like how he was trained later on, you know, after the Order by Kanan, and then you know Shin makes like a reference or like a comparison. She's like me, and he's like, no, not like you. Like you're so much more. I thought that was really cool too. And again, like I don't think that we've fully seen and like fully understand what they're trying to do. I think we're starting to get a little bit better idea as we go on.
You know, I gotta say one thing about Shin. I know you've loved her this whole time, and I've been somewhat of a fan of her for sure. But it really kind of irked me that she was force choking Sabine the last time we saw her, and now she's like, and she like was like, why do you even like have this thing with her? And now she's like, well, aren't you gonna respect it? Like she just kind of flipped and like for us, like the last time we saw her, and then like now she's like, oh, maybe she is gonna be a good person. And it's like, dude, she has not shown that like at all, like at any point. And now like all of a sudden she cares about Sabine, like keeping a promise. Like that whole thing was, again, like just didn't feel natural. It just seemed too quick.
I sort of took it like she was questioning him though, like because I feel like from time to time when she asks him a question, it's kind of like she's like almost putting him to the test a little bit, and I do feel like it's reminiscent of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon a little bit because like in Phantom Menace, like obviously Obi-Wan respects Qui-Gon and everything, but multiple times he'll ask him a question and like he's like testing him, like you really think this, like you're really gonna do it that way, that sort of thing.
Yeah. All right. I just was like, this is throwing me off. I was like, I don't understand.
I see what you're saying.
I was like, now she seems like she's gonna be a good guy.
I think like
I hope not.
They're kind of hinting at that Balin is not really this he's not really a Sith, and he's definitely doesn't consider himself a Jedi. And like I think they're kind of hinting at that he kind of doesn't want there to be Sith and Jedi anymore. Like he wants to put an end to this. Like he I
kill
think
the past.
Yeah, let it die. Yeah.
Yeah, what is that? I'm thinking of a movie and I can't think of like the reference either. Shoot.
I think it's just like he seems like a very neutral character. Like he
like Bendu.
Yeah, like literally I think they might be hinting at something like the Bendu returning. But it's like it's kind of hard for you to sell his character as like neutral and not liking the Sith or the Jedi when he's kind of working for the Night Sisters in the Empire.
Yeah.
Like I think it'd be a lot cooler maybe if he was a bit more of like a third party. Kind of just like fighting everyone and like kind of like tracking everything as it's going down, and then you could see a lot more of their conversations and what Balin thinks of the whole situation. Yeah,
that's a great point. Yeah, like questioning everything that he's doing, like kind of like sussing things out throughout like these last 5 episodes, and then you're like, okay, yeah.
I gotta ask you guys because I had like a light bulb moment here when you're talking about the Bendu again. So we see in Rebels, like towards the end, Thrawn shoots Bendu, but he disappears.
Yeah.
But also, I'm kind of remembering Thrawn like wanting to study him, possibly something along those lines.
Yeah, Thrawn.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think Thrawn like said something like that's like interesting or whatever. But like the Bendu becomes like a storm cloud and like takes out all of Thrawn's troops and then kind of just disappears. Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure that's
what I
before.
remember.
I'm pretty sure that's before he shoots him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he like becomes a storm cloud and then like just falls on the ground, and then Thrawn shoots him, but then he just gone and like chuckles.
Oh yeah.
But that it'd be really cool to see him return.
How I kind of always saw Bendu as like it's more of like this like force of nature than really a player in all of it. Like he even makes that kind of clear, is that he doesn't want any part of this, even though he obviously helps Kanan and the rebels. But I think it's like it'd be cool if there is the Bendu, but he doesn't look like the Bendu in Rebels, because it's like the Bendu looks a lot like that planet, like the plants on that planet. I think it'd be cool if it's like Bendu has like rematerialized, but it's like he looks different now. It's just because he's just like a part of whatever planet he's on.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing. Like maybe he just had to return back to this other galaxy because he was getting too weak, and like this is where he's from, and he just appeared in Rebels and like just returned back to like where like the source of his power is, which is like this planet. Which would make sense because it's like basically like the intersection for other planets and different galaxies. So maybe like this is like the intersecting point where like he originated from. So, but yeah, I would like to see him come in a different form. I think he would be too big. They'd probably spend way too much money on the budget to like animate him and like get him like in there. So I would like to see him be a little bit more practical and maybe a little smaller and like just more of like a wise like person that's like doesn't want to fight.
They do it Return of the Jedi Rancor style.
Dude. Yeah. Dude, make him a Rancor for sure.
Oh, that'd be crazy if it's a Rancor that talks.
Dude, I would lose it, bro.
Real quick, I just wanted to say it wasn't the greatest scene, but I enjoyed it when Sabine fought like those raiders or whatever. I
I
thought it was
couldn't
kind of
take
cool.
that scene, dude. I couldn't take that scene.
I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
They gotta
Um,
get Sabine more practice with the lightsaber before she
Yeah.
stuff, dude.
It's true.
Yeah. And then some of the choreography is just like it's just not good. Like we need someone that like understands that like people aren't gonna swing and miss somebody by 10 feet and some other direction that they're not even at. And then like the cuts and stuff and like they're in different positions. Like I don't know if you guys caught a lot of that, but like it was just really
I did.
kind of wonky. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, oh geez.
Yeah, the whole fight, it like reminded me of like Tusken Raiders, just basically is kind of what it reminded me of. Even like the sounds they were making. I think there was one at the end that like ran away and he sounded like a Tusken Raider.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
rewatch that. Yeah, I'll have to rewatch that for sure.
So why don't we talk about this epic reunion?
Why do they even
We've
give
been-
her guns and a lightsaber? First of all, they're like, "Yeah, die well." Like, no, just send her out there if you don't care about her. Like, go find it. Like, there's just little things in this whole episode where I'm just like, why? Like, what are we doing here? Anyways, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm losing it.
So the epic reunion that we've
Oh,
been
super
waiting
epic.
for,
Oh yeah,
we get to. Oh yeah, I don't know if we want to talk a little bit about those creatures. I could have done without them, the little turtle things or whatever. They're
I
kind of
just-
whatever to
I
me.
just-
I didn't
Just
hate
a
them,
means
but-
to an end.
Maybe it's just
Yeah.
me projecting.
Yeah.
Like I always imagine Ezra either like just becoming bros or something with Thrawn, just like settling their differences, or I thought it'd be cool if we just found Ezra and he's like literally leading like a new band of rebels, like guerrilla fighting Thrawn's forces.
Yeah.
But like, did Ezra really just chill out with a bunch of hermit crabs for
Yeah.
15 years?
Yeah, and knowing that Thrawn is still like he was
Yeah.
collecting stuff. He was collecting
Mhm.
stuff. He was still going about business.
And
And
Ezra
he's-
knew about the Night Sisters too, and he's been to temples before, like their Night Sister, or he'd been to Dathomir. He obviously
Yeah.
knew that Thrawn was doing all sorts of creepy stuff over there. So
just
I don't
didn't
know.
care, bro. Just was like, nah,
Yeah.
not my problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
Maybe they'll explain it, but
Yeah.
I'm skeptical
Yeah.
the explanation will sound very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I had been wanting Ezra to kind of be dabbling in the dark side a little bit. I know some people don't agree with that because maybe it's not like the truest to his character, but they definitely hint at it just a little bit in Rebels because he
Yeah.
had a calling with the dark holocron, like the
Mhm.
dark side holocron. So even if he wasn't like full on Sith, I just thought it would be kind of interesting, if like that was like a temptation for him again.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when like you see
Something more
Sabine-
interesting needed to happen
Yeah.
Yeah,
for him.
when you see Sabine like looking for him, I was like, please, for the love of God, don't make it be like an Obi-Wan in episode 4, like him just sitting out in the desert, like doing nothing. And then they're like, he's been sitting out here doing nothing, hanging out with crab
Yeah.
people. And I was just like,
Crap people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Yeah, I
But
thought his reveal wasn't that great, really. Like it could have been more like more of a thing of him
Like, what
coming
if he
out.
like,
Yeah.
like saved? What if he saved Sabine in that one scene from all those
That's-
other guys?
I thought right
Yes,
then
yes.
was where he was gonna come, because like she
Mhm.
was taking him out, and I thought there were more gonna be coming, because Thrawn he made a point about groups of nomads fighting each other, so I thought it was gonna be
Mhm.
more of a thing about that, but then she just took out the one band and that was it, and
Yeah.
he didn't show up. So
He
I
was
just
just
thought-
hanging out, dude.
yeah, you're just hanging out by the river.
What if Ezra had like force pulled his own lightsaber back to him?
Dude,
Yeah,
I would lose it. Oh
yeah,
no,
yeah,
dude.
or yeah, I was kind of hoping to see her like meditate. I was hoping it was gonna be like she was gonna be on like more of a journey. She was getting tired. This was her last chance was to turn to the Force, because she doesn't really have that strong of a connection. So I thought it was gonna be like a last ditch effort thing, and then she'd hear him call out, and then he'd come up be like a bigger thing. But it was just she was looking one direction, turned to the left, and he was there. That's pretty much.
You're just leaning against the thing that like no emotion has been like
Mhm.
it took you long enough. You're just like, okay, dude. Like
It just
what?
feels like
Yeah.
they could have done anything, and they did like
The bare minimum.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I did like his line though when he said, "I knew I could count on you." I did
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That felt like
Yeah.
Ezra to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah, it
whole
did,
conversation was the whole interaction was Ezra and Sabine, like it was in Rebels.
Also,
But I
gotta say,
felt-
Ezra looks real good. Like they casted him pretty
Mhm.
like really well.
Jesus
think
Ezra.
like, yeah.
but kind of a mid hug. Like I was telling Jake and Landon before the show, like, why were there no tears? Like, I feel like both of them should have been in tears.
Yeah. It was like a 2-week vacation saying hello thing. It was
Dude.
what it felt like. It didn't feel like it's been 10 years
At one point,
since then.
at one point I thought that maybe they're not even gonna hug at all, and I was like, really, right now?
Yeah.
Dude, I get more excited about finding $5 in my pocket, you know, than she got like finding Ezra, dude, this whole time. She literally was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna sacrifice billions of people, and then like rolls up, he's like, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, what are we
Yeah.
doing here, dude?
Tears up when you find extra cash lying around.
Oh, dude, I'll cry my eyes out, bro. You know. But yeah, I thought that scene was a little lackluster for sure.
Yeah.
And then I do it again. Like they keep doing things to make me hate Sabine even more every episode, and I'm surprised. I'm like, oh man, like I can't believe I like her less after this episode. Like I don't know how low they can go, but like she's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just trying to have fun with you and talk. Like no, like you should tell him because like
Have
things are
fun.
happening.
I
Like-
just yeah. I just feel like I'd be more upset about it if I felt like that it was Sabine. I feel like it's like so far away from Sabine, who I just loved in Rebels, that it's just
She
like
was so good, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not even upset about it. It's just like it feels like a completely new character. Like
Yeah.
I just guess we're never gonna see Sabine again. I don't know.
Well, dude, and I thought that, and then we got Ahsoka kind of turning back to old Ahsoka, and then they're like, hey, guess what? This episode's gonna be that same Sabine the whole time, folks. And you're just like, well, like,
Yeah.
can we do something? Like,
Mhm.
give me something here. Yeah.
I think that there's been a couple of moments, not nearly enough though, where she feels like old Sabine. I think out of all of them, she feels like less like the character that we knew from Rebels. I think you see it more with her interactions with Hera, but yeah.
When, like old
Yeah, I
Sabine
can
when
see
she
that.
interacts with Hera. Yeah. I mean, I just want to like Sabine, and I'm waiting for them to give me the opportunity to be like, oh, she is a cool person, and like she like is totally like a hero character, like, and they just don't do that. Like I'm waiting. Like she's deceptive, she's selfish, and maybe that's like the point of like us to hate her, like I guess. But like if that's the point, then you're doing a really great job, because I don't want to see her on screen. Like I could do without her. But yeah, so, and I don't know how long do you think that they were traveling, Anthony, or anybody? Like, how long do you think it took them from once they left the galaxy to get to this galaxy? Do you think like Ahsoka's far behind at this point, or?
I'm not too sure. I know it's not like a quick trip there, but it probably takes a little bit because when they were mentioning Ahsoka being alive at the end, maybe it was because she was getting closer to the planet, and then so by that time it was already been almost a day that they've been there.
Okay.
So
yeah,
because they were gonna be staying there for 3 days is what it was, and then by the end of the first day when they got there was when they started mentioning Ahsoka being on her way there.
Okay.
So it could be something like that, but yeah, it's definitely it's not like
It's not instantaneous, like she's
no,
not.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like an instant thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Like it's just like the whales are just kind of slower than like the hyperspace ring they built.
I gotta say, seeing their butts light up before they take off gives me joy, bro. Gotta say it.
yeah. Mhm.
I think we would probably get into the ending, and the Night Sisters can sense that Ahsoka's getting close, and Thrawn's wanting them to like use their magic again. Which, yeah, I don't know if you guys want to speculate a little bit on what this could mean. Also, we touched on it really briefly earlier, but yeah, I text Jake yesterday, and was it yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought maybe those things could be like Snoke, Palpatine clones, possibly, but what did you say that they might be, Jake?
I think they're just the corpse of like other witches, like other Night Sisters that they're bringing
okay.
back into like the other realm to like wake them up on like Dathomir.
That could make
Yeah.
I could see that too. But yeah, let's talk.
You
a
heard a
little bit
noise
about-
come out of one of them too. When it went by
Oh,
close
really?
to the camera, you hear like kind of like a shake, like someone,
Hmm.
like something's in there. So their bodies, obviously. But I just, if it was
Yeah.
Palpatine, like wouldn't make too much sense to me. Like,
Yeah, I'm skeptical about Palpatine or Snoke because I understand the Clone Wars. The Night Sisters kind of worked with Palpatine, but it was always kind of an uneasy alliance because
Mhm.
it's just obvious that Palpatine and the what's her name leader of the Night Sisters.
Great Mother.
The Great Mother. It's obvious like they have the same goal and like they're gonna be butting heads eventually. They just
Mhm.
had to form an alliance because of the Jedi. So like, I don't think any of the Night Sisters would be in a really big hurry, to resurrect Palpatine or help resurrect Palpatine.
Let me ask you guys this though. We've seen them do this crazy stuff to Maul, and we've seen them do crazy stuff to Savage. What if these are just like a bunch of Mauls that they're bringing back over?
Yeah.
That would be, I would lose it if you just see like an army of like just crazy Mauls going at them.
Yeah.
I think if they want to have like member berries.
You'd be down?
Oh, dude, I'll take the member berries all day if you give me Maul back, dude. Give me 30 of them, okay? I don't
That'd be really
care, bro.
cool.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I would be sick. What if it's
Yeah.
something crazy we've never even seen before? You know?
It's interesting because George Lucas originally planned on having Darth Maul come back, like post Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe, man, I hope before they leave this new galaxy that like they just show something like really strange. Like,
Yeah.
I want them to throw in something like maybe even almost veering to the veering to the genre of like cosmic horror type things. If like if there's like the Night Sisters unleash like some kind of abomination that Ahsoka has to fight or something, that's just like unlike anything we've ever seen. Like I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's
Like
just,
the
I feel
Zillow
there's-
Beast.
No, it's Darth
Oh.
Maul Rancor, dude. Give me a Darth Maul Rancor, I'll be chilling.
like Dark Yoda.
Oh, dude, and that's what I was thinking. Have we ever kind of figured out exactly if Yoda's from our galaxy or is he like from another distant galaxy? Like, is this
think
where the
he's
Yodas
always
come
been
from?
Unknown.
He is
What?
in that. Yoda is from that galaxy, but George Lucas has never stated what planet or what alien species he is.
Yeah.
There's only been 3 of his species: him, Yaddle, and Grogu. There's only 3 that's ever been shown in the entire canon.
Okay.
That and
Yeah.
Jar Jar, of course.
Those
Oh.
those little coffins would have been a lot smaller if they were pushing a bunch of little Yodas back on there. I guess.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Sorry to bring this up. Not sorry to bring this up again really quick, but I just really think that Thrawn, I feel like it makes sense for Thrawn to, maybe not necessarily Night Sisters, but I kind of feel like that makes sense also. But I feel like definitely Thrawn has some kind of a hand in bringing Palpatine back.
Yeah.
Because of like their dynamics and like their relationship that you've
Mhm.
known about from like Legends.
'Cause how I
Like
understand it
that
is
that's
that
his like right hand man.
yeah, in like official lore, it's like Thrawn has never been like a very high ranking compared to a lot of people. I mean, like he was like a Grand Moff, but it's like it's mostly just Palpatine's like, hey, that's a really cool dude right there. We should keep him around. But then
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
So I think it'd be cool to see like what Thrawn's plans are exactly. And but also kind of like Jake was saying is that I didn't really talk about what I thought of Thrawn is that I really like Thrawn. Thrawn's super cool. Honestly, visually, I think he was growing on me as the episode kept going on.
Yeah.
It became less distracting. And even though he's, I don't know, it's just kind of weird because like he's just like really skinny in the animated show, but then like
Dude, super skinny.
kind of old and kind of old, kind of tubby. But I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. I get he's an older Thrawn, I guess, but it's like, and it makes him look a lot like the other like Imperial
yeah,
officers.
What's he been eating out there
Yeah.
though? You know, I don't know.
yeah.
And
And then
also, I like
also,
Those turtle
yeah.
people, dude. Some turtle soup. Too much.
Crab.
Whatever it is, I don't know. Turtle crab people that are snails as
puffs.
well. I
Yeah.
don't know. Shoot.
yeah, yeah. And then in Rebels, the art style was kind of like that. Everyone was kind of like lengthy, kind of stretched, skinny. That's kind of how it was.
True. Yeah.
I didn't have an issue with how Thrawn looked, or like obviously it's the same voice, so I didn't mind his voice at all. Like it was just the fact that if you've never seen Thrawn and you watch this, you're gonna be like,
Some guy.
okay, yeah,
It's that,
you know,
it's the thing is like they captured his like vibe perfectly. Is that Thrawn is so cool because, he's so cool because you know he can do some crazy stuff, and
Mhm.
but he's always very calm and very level-headed, and very quiet too. So like they capture his vibe perfectly. But the thing is that like they did it back in Rebels too, where he's just very quiet, very methodical, and then you're like, oh snap, he can do some crazy stuff. Like he's got it all figured out. But you have to like see him do that. In this show,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, we haven't
you're-
seen Thrawn yet, really.
yeah, we haven't really seen him do anything. Like
Yeah.
he has the same kind of character, but it's like the whole dichotomy of his character is that like he's very unassuming until you see what he actually does, and we just haven't seen anything yet. Like,
Yeah,
it'd be cool if we just saw something like immediately. I don't know.
yeah,
What's he
yeah.
gonna do with the information that he has that he gets from Ahsoka? 'Cause remember at the end he tells one of them to like get everything they can find on her and her master.
Oh, he
yeah.
doesn't know about Ahsoka, does he?
Ye-
Really?
No, not really.
So it's
Yeah.
gonna be really interesting next week, like what he has planned.
but
Maybe
Yeah.
to like
was one of the
maybe
few
to like
people-
torment
yeah.
her mentally.
He was one of the few people that knew that Anakin became Darth Vader, though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I think that's gonna be interesting. I definitely think he's gonna pull that card.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And maybe
It's definitely been hinted.
Ahsoka's gonna talk about like her kind of resolution after her like experiences last episode. So yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of stupid is that Balin knows Anakin and like what he went through and all this other stuff. He probably knows Ahsoka. If he was in the Order, Thrawn, you sent that guy out to die on a planet, and that's your information right there, buddy. You just sent him out to die. Like, you could have just asked Balin, and Balin could have been like, yeah, she was like Darth Vader's apprentice and left the Order, and you know, like, so I'm just thinking about it right now, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
I think it was I think it was not last episode, but the one before that, when Balin and Ahsoka were talking, and he definitely knew of her because she was Anakin's Padawan.
Mhm.
So he could have used Balin a lot more. Balin could have been more useful, I feel like.
Sounds like he's gonna try and kill all four of them.
Yeah, so if we're getting
Yeah.
it straight, Thrawn's plan is he's gonna let Sabine go to lead them to Ezra, and then let Balin go to lead them to Sabine and Ezra, and then he's just gonna kill all of them.
He's just gonna leave, yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah,
that's where it's gonna bring them together.
Well, no,
I think.
because he said to prepare some squads to go send after them after they're done, like killing each other or whatever. Like whoever's the winners are, he's just gonna send a couple stormtroopers to go kill them.
Wait, you think they team up? The four of them team up in the
I
next
don't know.
episode?
I do because, dude, you just saw that like Thrawn said like I don't care about any of them. Like I'm down to leave all of them. And I said that I don't think that Thrawn trusts Balin. It was like my initial thought when he first is like, oh yeah, you're a Jedi. Okay, yeah. And then you get this whole kind of thing where like you know you get Shin kind of testing him, be like, do you miss it? Like all this other stuff, and then you have her being like curious about it. And I don't think that like they're gonna come to an understanding that there's like a worse, like there's a bigger evil that they need to take care of. And I don't think Balin's like reached that yet to be like, oh, this guy's really like trying to kill me.
yeah.
I think Balin's gonna die from Thrawn, and I think that Shin's gonna be like, I gotta team up with these other people because I can't let this happen.
Either
I feel
that,
like,
either that, or I feel like Balin might try and turn and go with Ahsoka, but I feel like Shin will want to stay with Morgan and with Thrawn, and then that would be like, and then I feel like that could be like another parallel to Anakin and Ahsoka, kind of being like, seeing like what could have happened, like and all that, like with the master leaving the Padawan. I feel like.
Okay.
I think
I really don't need anyone to change though. Like I don't need big turns from anybody.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Sorry,
get some.
I think it'd be if I was making this show, if I was making this next movie that Filoni has planned, I would be like have honestly, I want Ezra, Sabine, and possibly even Ahsoka and I'm forgetting the droid's name.
Huyang.
Chopper? Oh,
Huyang.
Huyang.
Honestly,
I didn't know
I
which
kind of
one.
want them to get left behind.
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be such an interesting story if they are in a completely new galaxy with possibly horrifying things that they've never seen before.
But you want
Like,
Thrawn to leave? So Thrawn bounces
leave them
and then
behind,
like they're
and
stuck
then they
there?
have to get back because they're the only ones that like know, like they have to like how to stop it. I think that would be cool. I doubt they'd ever do that in 100 years, like a million years. Though.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna get left at all. I feel like it could end up with them making it back to the other galaxy, and then they fight there. But I don't think either one of them are gonna get left.
It just kind of sucks because it's
Really?
like
Okay.
I feel like there's so much potential in all the new ideas they're bringing like forward, but it's just like all of it's just kind of I mean I don't know how to say it, like Marvel washed. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's just like it's all these cool ideas and all these like tiny little things that have so much potential, and that's just kind of slaps together real messily. I don't know.
But here, Landon, I swear to God, I just had this conversation the other night and I felt the same way. I was like, they're trying to do what Marvel did and maybe give us so many different Easter eggs and like little details throughout like the story that they can like change and retcon it later on. Where like Marvel, like they had a plan, but like everything like had to like follow the next thing. And I'm only talking phases 1 through 3, like when Marvel really first started. Like they had a direction, but then like they would change things based upon what people liked or didn't like, or like these little clues that you can go back and be like, oh, okay, like they set that up there. And so I'm like watching this and you hear like different theories, like, oh, like the brother is there, like you saw that bat winged creature fly off, like maybe that's him. Like maybe they're just like throwing so much at the wall and just seeing what happens, and they're gonna kind of adjust. Like they're just going to throughout whatever series or movies he wants to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's just throwing so much at us right now and then being like, okay, we'll figure out like where we want to take this after.
I wanted to say this a minute ago after Landon had said something. So sorry if it's a little bit off topic now, but I feel like if like fate is like a thing, I kind of feel like Sabine is destined to find herself in another situation where she has to decide you know, what's right and wrong, like for her decision. And I would like to see that happen again too. I think it would help her character out a lot if she's able to make the hard decision.
Well, that's what I think I was saying before, Dom, is like I could see the only redeeming factor that they could do for us in this show is to be like, oh, like Sabine and like them have to go and then like destroy that like whole warp engine and get themselves all stuck there together. Like maybe that's like the redeeming factor of Sabine is like she understands that like she can't let Thrawn go back now after like Ezra's like, dude, like what the heck did you do? Like we can't let that happen. And then like they have to go stop him from even having the opportunity to come back.
I think she needs to be prepared to lose somebody too in order to stop him.
Ezra, does he die?
I don't know, but and I don't necessarily mean Ezra. I just mean it very well could be him, but like she just needs to be able to lose pretty much anyone in order to do what it takes.
Like, I just don't think that there would be anybody else that she could lose besides Ezra to like make her like
I feel
give her
like
that arc.
To give her that arc, yeah, I think they'd need to kill off Ezra. And it's just like I like Ezra. I love Ezra. Like Rebels is my show. I just like but like I'd much rather see him killed and have maybe a kind of meaningful end here. Instead of him like revived and then probably just killed. I'd probably just say he was killed by Kylo later, you know?
What if he
Like
becomes a force ghost to Sabine later on?
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Maybe he just
Yeah.
disappears, you know? He pulls a Obi-Wan Kenobi and just vanishes.
Mhm.
Maybe that's why he's been hanging out with the hermit crabs. I don't know.
I want to see a force ghost appear like Obi-Wan on Hoth again too, where he's like
We're gonna
bigger,
see Anakin.
like a Mufasa, you know.
Anakin. Oh my gosh, a Mufasa face.
Well, like you know how
In the
Obi-Wan
clouds.
you know how Obi-Wan appears to Luke on Hoth, like he's like a bigger force ghost.
Oh,
Is he?
Yeah.
Isn't
I
he?
feel like he's pretty normal size.
Or it looks like he's off in the distance or something.
Yeah, I feel like he's pretty
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
chilling. But we do see Anakin, I believe, later on as a Force Ghost as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
We'll get that.
yeah. I think we'll definitely be seeing Anakin at least one more time.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think we pretty much wrap things up here in a minute. You guys have any final thoughts on this episode?
I had a question. I'm going to think about it while you guys talk.
Okay. Anthony?
Overall, good episode. Nice, or solid 6 out of 10 on the episode. Could have been better, but it was still, it still is leading us up to the end, which is good.
Yeah.
I definitely think this episode set up a whole lot of stuff that makes me more optimistic. I'll be watching the next episode. Yeah, I mean, I'm cautious. I'm cautiously optimistic.
The good news is, Landon, is that I think the next episode is going to be very Ahsoka heavy. And I honestly don't know if I believe that. I think it's going to be pretty 50-50 because we got to have that conversation with Sabine and Ezra. I just want to make sure that Ezra has the same thought process I do. That's all I care about is him being like, dude, what the heck did you do? Like, you messed up. Like, knock some sense into Sabine. That's all I'm looking forward to, hopefully. Because she either needs to die or die. Yeah, she just needs to die. So yeah, I give this episode a solid 4 out of 10. But
What's your
I
question?
appreciate it. I couldn't think of it. I had lost it. We had it like way back, and I should have asked it when everybody was talking. But listen, I told Dom, and I feel the same way still. I want to hold off giving this whole show a rating. I don't think you could really judge. Oh my gosh, don't think you can really judge this show based off of like the episodes. I almost feel like they should have came out with this whole series at once and just let you binge it. It would have flown a lot better. Things would make more sense. Like it just would have been better. So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's where I'm at. One Piece was amazing. Go watch that.
Yeah. If you ever
True,
feel
true.
disappointed about this show, just go watch some One Piece.
Yeah. Solid show, folks.
If you ever feel disappointed in life, go watch One Piece.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, Laufey will make you feel so optimistic about anything.
Have you seen it, Anthony?
I have not. I've seen.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
buddy.
Oh,
You've got to check it out. It's so
Yeah,
good.
for sure. I definitely will.
so good.
Yeah.
So good. It was a good
Alright.
break from bad television. I'll tell you what.
It's like
Yeah.
super bingeable too, but
It was a
we're
good-
already
good
finished
break
with the
from
One Piece
She-Hulk.
episode.
Wait, She-Hulk was your favorite show? Is that what you said, Dom?
I said it was a good break from She-Hulk. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen that. I need to.
Oh,
Don't.
it's not- it's
Don't
not-
don't see
I
it.
Yeah.
envy you. I envy you
Okay.
that you haven't seen it.
They're
it's
gonna
like,
reboot.
like Green Lantern. I wish I could unsee it.
Oh, Green Lantern's way better than She-Hulk. Definitely go
That-
watch Green
yeah.
Lantern.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, everyone, for being on the episode. Great having you guys.
Mhm.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in live, or if it's on the replay again, leave us some comments. Let us know how you enjoyed episode 6, how you're enjoying the series, and your theories for the show going forward. Jake, anything else before we head on out?
Honestly, loved having you guys on the show, Landon and Anthony. You guys were so insightful. Appreciate it. Such a fun time.
Welcome anytime.
honestly,
Welcome anytime.
yeah. I love it. I love
Gotta
getting
get
different
me slated for
perspectives.
some
So
trivia episodes.
yeah. So we got to figure that out for you guys to kick my
Mhm.
butt again. And then yeah, but yeah, I loved the whole night. So great
Yeah.
hanging out with everybody.
Yeah.
For sure.
Great way to end my evening after work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Absolutely. All right, guys. We'll be back next Wednesday talking about episode 7. And I think we got some stuff coming up with Marvel soon. So, yeah, check that out or stay tuned. And then also, one more time, check out our One Piece review. And we'll be back soon.
All righty.